Members, we have a forum. I call to order the meeting. Agenda item 1, policy briefing by the Labour and Welfare Bureau. To let members have a more in-depth understanding of the government's policy direction, the LWB will brief members on its policy portfolio. All electrical members are invited to this discussion item. Please refer to LC paper number CB bracket 1 37/2026 bracket 01 for the paper provided by the administration. I'll now give the floor to the Secretary. Thank you, Chair. I'm happy to be here to attend this policy briefing. Today's briefing will cover two major areas. One is under our Bureau's portfolio, that is the Manpower portfolio. It covers the work of Talent Engage. The other portfolio concerns the Labour Department. I will give an opening remark. Afterwards, I will invite the Undersecretary as well as the Director of Hong Kong Talent Engage and Deputy Secretary for Labour and Welfare to give members their briefing. I believe it will take about 45 minutes. After that, we are happy to take members' questions. On the Manpower portfolio, members may be familiar with our work. We focus on nurturing local talents complemented by attraction of outside talents. The LWB does a lot of work on cultivating talents in terms of trawling for talents. As you all know, over the past few years, we have been trawling for talents to boost economic growth. On devising our manpower policies, one of the major work is to conduct a manpower projection. In April 2024, we released the 2028 manpower projections, and we gave a report to the panel on manpower. Our estimate is that by 2028, we will be facing a manpower shortage of 180,000. About 1/3 of them will be skilled technical workers. We won't wait until 2028 to do another round of projection. So currently, we're conducting an interim review. We expect that by Q4 this year, we'll be able to complete all the review work, and where appropriate, we will give an updated report to this panel. I'll now give the floor to Mr. Andrew Deng, Deputy Secretary for Labour and Welfare. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Secretary. I will now talk about the work of the Employees Retraining Board, or the ERB. The ERB is currently providing comprehensive and diversified training services for the local workforce aged 15 or above. It adopts an employment-based approach as well as a market-based approach. We have announced the reform of the ERB to enhance the board's positioning as well as role. Originally, we focused on providing employment-based training for workers, but after the enhancement, we will serve the entire labor force. We will provide skill-based training programs. There are 4 reform directions. That is repositioning and expanding service targets, strengthening research capabilities to grasp future skills trends. Third, adopting skills-based training strategy and developing a skills-based learning pathway. And fourth, optimizing the mode of operation and integrating training resources. The major goal of the reform is to enhance the skills of our labor force to tie in with the development needs of our local industries. The reform started to take place from January 2025. In January last year, we lifted restriction on educational attainment of trainees. Originally, those with an educational attainment of sub-degree or below could sign up of our programs. But now, it is expanded to the entire local workforce aged 15 or above, regardless of their educational level. Also, we are launching more skill-based programs to respond to the needs for transformation of the market. Also, we are providing employment matching services as well as career planning counseling for our trainees. Indeed, at the end of last year, we have already provided a work plan to the government outlining the medium to long-term reform measures of the ERB as well as the relevant timetable. In 2026, the focus of the ERB's work is to implement the medium to long-term reform measures. As mentioned, the board will strengthen its research capabilities, formulate an appropriate training framework, and roll out advanced programs for trainees. In the meantime, we'll have to amend the Employees Retraining Ordinance in alignment with its new positioning. In the next panel meeting, we will, together with representatives from the ERB, brief members on the details of the proposed legislative amendments. Now, I will turn to our work on attracting outside talents. Currently, the SAR government has put in place a number of talent admission schemes to attract talents from different professional backgrounds to enrich the local talent pool. A number of admission schemes are shown on the screen here. They target different talents, so the qualifications required are different. The SAR government welcomed talents from different backgrounds to apply for the admission schemes that suit them. On the talent list, the SAR government has formulated a talent list. The goal of the talent list is to identify talents that we are short of, and these are talents that are hard for Hong Kong to cultivate by itself. Last year, we updated the talent list, and we added a number of sectors that have to do with our goal to develop the 8 centers. Now, there are 60 professions on the talent list. The aim of the updated list is to help us trawl for talents to tie in with the high value-added economic development as well as diversified development of Hong Kong. A number of admission schemes are listed here. They include the Top Talent Pass Scheme, the General Employment Policy, as well as the admission scheme for mainland talents and professionals. Applicants who apply to come to Hong Kong, they can, through these admission schemes, to come here. And we offer immigration facilitation to those that apply to come here through the 3 schemes that I mentioned. Now, on the Top Talent Pass Scheme, it was rolled out at the end of 2022. It was a brand new scheme back then. The aim of this scheme is to attract excellent talents from outside Hong Kong to enrich the local talent pool. The TTPS is eligible for 3 types of talents. For Category A, we target talents with annual income reaching 2.5 million Hong Kong dollars or above in the year immediately preceding the date of application. There are 200 institutions listed on our designated institution list. They cover top-tier universities or prestige universities around the world. They are known as eligible universities on our list. For those who graduated with a bachelor degree from these institutions, and they have accumulated at least 3 years of work experience. Over the past 5 years immediately preceding the date of application, they would belong to Category B. For Category C, they are talents with less work experience. That is, they only have less than 3 years of work experience in the past 5 years immediately preceding the date of application, so they are mostly fresh graduates. The eligibility criteria are very clear, and the documents that applicants have to provide are not too complicated. So eligible applicants under the TTPS, they do not have to secure a job before they come to Hong Kong. After they've come to Hong Kong, they can work, they can explore the opportunities available. And 2 to 3 years later, their visa will expire and they will have to prove that they have a job in Hong Kong or have joined or established a business in Hong Kong if they want to renew their visa. At the end of 2022, we rolled out its TTPS, and since then, the scheme has been running very smoothly and it has been very effective. We climbed a number of places in the World Talent Ranking 2025. Last year, we ranked 4th in the world and 1st in Asia. This shows that we are moving towards the right direction in terms of trawling for talents. We have met our admission target. From October 2022 to October 2025, we have received 580,000 applications under the TTPS. We have approved 400,000 of these applications. We have over 260,000 talents who have come to Hong Kong through this scheme. A lot of these talents brought their families to Hong Kong. More than 240,000 dependents of approved applicants have arrived, including dependent children under the age of 18. There are over 140,000 of them. Our talent admission regime focuses on attracting high-end talents. Indeed, most of them possess qualifications at undergraduate level or above. Most of them are at working age, with 70% under 40 years old. Around a quarter of them hold foreign passports and have experience working overseas. A lot of them work in several key sectors in Hong Kong, such as the financial service sector, the I&T sector, and the commercial fields. I will now talk about the outcomes achieved under the TTPS. As at the end of December 2025, we have received more than 150,000 applications. We've approved over 120,000 of them. Around 105,000 approved applicants have arrived in Hong Kong. As mentioned, they need to prove that they have a job or have established a business in order to renew their visa. For the first batch of top talents, they have to renew their visa in October 2024, according to our statistics. Application rate for extension of stay is about 52%, and the approval rate of such applications is as high as 94%. 95% of the top talents granted extension of stay earn more than $20,000. That's our median monthly income, and 50% of them earn nearly double that amount. About half of the top talents granted extension of stay have applied for dependent visas for their spouse or married children under 18, bringing an average of 1.7 children per talent to Hong Kong. And this is beneficial to our demographic structure. It is believed that top talents contribute to our economy by some $34 billion per annum, which is tantamount to 1.2% of the local GDP.
These talents have arrived in Hong Kong and they have become part of our society. Next, moving on to technical professionals. As the Secretary mentioned, the manpower projection in 2028, Hong Kong's labor shortfall will hit 180,000. Over one-third of them are skilled technical workers. We have an aging workforce in Hong Kong. In some particular sectors, there's a lack of fresh blood. Therefore, different industries are expected to face a serious shortfall of technical workers. We have implemented relief measures on two levels. One, for specified skilled trade, we admit experienced technical professionals aged below 40, starting from June last year. Under the GEP and the ASMTP, we have added the category of technical professionals. They need to age between 18 and 40, and they also need to have relevant experience. They need to be non-degree holders. There are a total of 8 skills or specified skill trades that accept applications. There's a quota of 10,000. It lasts 3 years, subject to a cap of 3,000 for each specific skill trade. Through the IANG, from 2024-25 to 2027-28, a total of 4 cohorts for those who come to Hong Kong to study accredited full-time higher diploma courses. They are allowed to stay in Hong Kong upon graduation for 1 year to look for jobs related to their programs. We encourage young people, that is those aged 14 and above, to engage in apprentice scheme. From 2024 to 25, these registered apprentices will receive training subsidies of an extra $1,000 when they graduate. If they decide to continue to pursue academic studies in these related fields, they will also be able to get extra subsidies. Next, I'll give the floor to my colleague, that is Mr. Felix Chen, Director of Hong Kong Talent Engage, to give you more information. Thank you. Hong Kong Talent Engage was set up in October 2023. We have 3 main functions. We build Hong Kong into an international hub for high-caliber talents. We tie in with the 15th Five-Year Plan to this end. We tell the good stories of Hong Kong. Next, we draw for talents. We proactively go global to attract global talents to develop in Hong Kong, covering those in the mainland as well as those overseas. Next, on retaining talents, the Hong Kong Talent Engage has done a lot of work, including activities to provide a one-stop shop with well-rounded support services. We want to support them in pursuing development in Hong Kong in the long run. It's been 2 years or so since the setup of the Hong Kong Talent Engage. We have made about 80 visits, and we have organized about 200 or so activities. We work with different enterprises, different trade unions, and we share with global talents that have come to Hong Kong to share the situation in Hong Kong. We also promote our talent emission programs. We work with the GBA cities to go global. We went to Malaysia and Singapore last year. We promoted the positioning of Hong Kong under the principle of one country, two systems, and enjoying the strong support of our motherland and the connection with the world. We tell the good stories of Hong Kong, but also those of the GBA. We also work with the GBA to go global. We invited different professionals to come to Hong Kong, and we also went to the GBA to conduct tours. The initiative of 72 hours of staying in Shenzhen and Hong Kong was very sought after. It is important to retain talents. Last year, we held around 60 physical support events. We wanted to support talents as well as their family members so that they can settle into the Hong Kong society as soon as possible. We have provided different information. Looking for jobs is close to heart of the family members of the talent. We held a total of 12 online and offline job fairs in Hong Kong. We provided job matching services for employers and employees, and we have attracted a total of 200,000 talents to these events. Starting from the middle of the last year, we held an online job fair, which enabled us to promote the jobs in Hong Kong, allowing employers to get in touch with employees before they even came to Hong Kong. There were 4 online job fairs, and we attracted about 20,000 talent. The response was overwhelming. Some of them came from outside the Greater China area. Talents are concerned about life in Hong Kong, education, and so on. They are also concerned about housing. We have held different thematic seminars on, for example, starting their own business and jobs. We have held a Cantonese course. Starting from this year, we made it available for foreigners to take a Cantonese course so that they can better understand the life of Hong Kong. We also hold inclusive activities, especially volunteer services. These are very popular among high-end talents. They find it good opportunities to know more about Hong Kong. Apart from the Hong Kong Talent Engage, we have been working with about 100 different partners together. That is because our manpower is limited after all. Together, we provide different support services, including job searching, starting their own business, as well as the day-to-day living assistance. We conducted questionnaires, and the response was very overwhelming. It was very positive. Workshop seminars had live streaming as well. For those who could not make it to the event live, they could revisit the seminars online. In 2026, we'll continue with our global outreach in the Chinese mainland. Apart from that, we will also visit Asia Pacific, the Middle East, Europe, and North America. Based on our positioning as the A center as well as the needs of enterprises in Hong Kong, we will enhance promotion and we will also start recruitment efforts. We want to draw for more talents. We will also be on the offensive to draw for more talents targeting what we actually need in Hong Kong. Between the 18th and the 19th of March in the Hong Kong CEC in Wan Chai, we hold a global talent summit week. It was last held in May 2024, which was the first summit week. The response was overwhelming, and we ranked first in Asia in the 2025 World Talent Ranking. That's why we do have the conditions to hold the Global Talent Summit Week. We will also be inviting different well-known scholars, business leaders to come to Hong Kong. We aim to enhance dialogue and foster exchanges. We work with different partners to help different talents to come to Hong Kong, and we provide different support services. That concludes my introduction of the work of the Hong Kong Talent Engage. Thank you. Thank you. Next, I'm moving on to the labor portfolio of the LWB. This is under the purview of the Labor Department, so together with my colleagues of the LD, we will take members through our introduction. There are four main policy objectives, that is, fostering local employment, strengthening labor protection, promoting harmonious labor relations, and improving occupational safety and health. We provide employment support, which is a very important element of the services of the LD. We provide diversified employment services and a series of programs to help job seekers. In addition to general employment services, we also have sector-specific promotions. For example, for seniors, women, ethnic minorities, young people, they have their own needs and challenges in the workforce. That's why we have implemented different programs to help them. Let me give you some examples. In 2024, July, we rolled out the 3-year Re-employment Allowance Pilot Scheme REA. We aim to help those who have not been engaged in gainful employment for 3 months rather. If they finish 6 months of full-time work, they will receive subsidies of $10,000. If they continue with the work for 12 months, they will get an additional $10,000. There are also other programs that help non-full-time workers. For part-timers in the workforce, if they work for 6 months in a row or 12 months in a row, we will also give them subsidies, but then that is subject to a cap of 50% of the said subsidies. Therefore, we provide different assistance services for those meeting challenges in society. In January last year, we improved the GBA Youth Employment Scheme and the Youth Employment and Training Program. We relaxed the eligibility criteria of the GBAYES. We allow those below the age of 29 and sub-degree holders to apply for the GBAYES. We have also increased the limit of subsidies, and we have lengthened the program as well. Last year, we implemented the GBA internship program. We want to help teenagers who want to develop in the GBA to be exposed to more opportunities. As for the Youth Employment and Training Program, YETP, we have extended the age limit to 29. These programs have yielded good results last year. Say for the REA, there were a total of 64,000 participants. 36,000 of them have already secured a job. We have looked into these cases. A quarter of the participants and cases are aged 60 and above. This shows that they are actually capable to work in Hong Kong. As long as they have sufficient incentives, they can rejoin the labor force to help Hong Kong. Women job seekers account for 60%. The labor participation rate of women is lower than that for men. That's why this scheme is very effective. It encourages women who have the work capabilities and have ambitions to rejoin the labor force. We have approved about $200 million of subsidies. In addition to these schemes, there are increases in the number of participants. In 2025, for the GBAYES, there were over 600 young people employed, up by 45% from 2024. As for the YETP in 2024 to 25, comparing with the preceding year, there was an increase of about 40% or so. When the age requirements were relaxed, regarding the YETP, a quarter of the new participants were aged between 25 and 29. This shows the relaxation of the age requirements can help young people in Hong Kong. We could help them to rejoin the labor force. Regarding our work plan in 2026, we will conduct an interim review. We will also work alongside the employment program for the elderly and middle-aged, that is EPEM. We will conduct reviews on these programs together. We want to encourage silver employment in Hong Kong. We'll continue to work on teenager employment services. Regarding employment support as a whole, we will use AI, that is artificial intelligence, to enhance job matching services. We want to help job seekers in Hong Kong. Thank you.
On the other hand, apart from offering support to local job seekers, we also need to cope with various challenges brought by manpower shortage. So on the premise of ensuring employment priority for local workers, the Labour Department, starting from September 2023, launched the Enhanced Supplementary Labour Scheme. This scheme is an enhanced version of the previous Labour Supplementary Scheme. It allows local employers to apply for importation of workers to meet operational needs and to ease manpower shortage. This is also to support economic development in Hong Kong. As at December 2025, we have received over 22,000 applications. The number of approved applications has exceeded 15,000. And 96,000 workers have got the approval to come to Hong Kong through the scheme. 40% of them are from the catering industry. While we have approved 96,000 imported workers to come, we have checked the statistics with the Immigration Department. As at December 2025, those who have arrived in Hong Kong and are working in Hong Kong account for about 45,000. In 2025, we watched very closely the employment ecosystem in Hong Kong, including the manpower supply of different sectors, as well as the jobless rate in different industries. So you may have noticed that in 2025, we rolled out a number of enhancement measures. We refined the details of the Enhanced Supplementary Labour Scheme, including reforming the application threshold. The government will continue to dynamically monitor the change of the market. We will also, based on the latest situation of the job market, flexibly adjust the implementation arrangements of the Enhanced Supplementary Labour Scheme. As announced, we are currently reviewing this scheme. We will, by Q2 this year, complete the review of the scheme, and we will announce the details and findings in due course. Now, on the work of the Labour Department, I will give the floor to Mr. Raymond Ho. Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. Chair, members, good afternoon. Protecting digital platform workers is one of our highlights this year. Last year, in the Chief Executive's policy address, it was announced that the government will enact legislations to improve the work injury compensation mechanism for digital platform workers. We target those engaging in food delivery as well as goods delivery work on digital platforms. Currently, the Labor Department, together with platform companies as well as employee representatives at the Tripartite Committee for the Digital Platform Industry, discuss the legal framework and the details involved. We will consult the Labor Advisory Board later. After that, we will come back to this panel to report to members about our legislative proposal. The government's goal is that within this year, we will table to the Legislative Council a brand new bill, and the Legislative Council will then scrutinize the bill. On the annual review of the statutory minimum wage, the government has agreed to the new mechanism of adopting a formula for implementing the annual review of the SMW rate. We will use a new formula to review the rate. The SMW committee has reviewed the latest round of SMW level. It is expected that the report will be submitted to the CE in Council. If the recommendations are adopted by the CE in Council, we will submit a schedule concerning the SMW rate to the Legislative Council. We believe that the latest SMW rate will then take effect starting from the 1st of May this year. Now I will talk about the new continuous contract requirement under the Employment Ordinance. It is also known as the 468 requirement. The new requirement started to take effect on the 18th of January this year. We have introduced flexibility in calculating working hours, making it easier for employees to enjoy comprehensive employment rights under the new requirement. Moving forward, the Labor Department will continue to promote and explain the new requirement to enhance employers and employees' understanding of the new requirement. On fostering harmonious labor relations, it is again one of our major tasks of the Labor Department. Apart from promotion and publicity work, we also provide mediation and conciliation service to foster harmonious labor relations in Hong Kong. I'd like to talk about two major items. On the 16th of January this year, we launched the Good Employer Charter 2026 to encourage more enterprises to adopt good human resource management and family-friendly employment practices. Balancing work and family is the theme of the new Good Employer Charter, to encourage employers to roll out more family-friendly measures to take care of the needs of employees to juggle between work and family. Last year, we also completed a very important task, that is, we amended the Trade Unions Ordinance. It came into operation on the 5th of January this year. It helps better safeguard national security and improve the trade union regulatory regime. Towards the end of this year, there will be the Good Employer Charter 2026 presentation ceremony to commend all good employers. Also, through family visits as well as our conciliation service, we will closely monitor the relations between employers and employees in Hong Kong, and where necessary, we will intervene to provide conciliation service to foster harmonious labor relations. Now I will invite Mr. Vincent Fong to tell you more. Thank you. I will now talk about our work on ensuring occupational safety and health, or OSH. Everyone is responsible for safeguarding OSH, be it employers and employees. They should work together to promote OSH through inspection and enforcement, publicity and promotion, education and training, as well as innovation and technology. We adopt a multi-pronged approach to enhance the OSH level of different sectors and industry. We also monitor the risk level, and we adopt a risk-based approach to adjust the strategies I mentioned above to promote OSH culture to reduce the number of accidents. Now I will share with you some figures. We also always hear from news reports about accidents. Let's look at the situation over the past 30 years. Through the concerted efforts of various sectors, our OSH performance in the past 30 years have kept improving. The accident rate per 1,000 workers was 52.1 30 years ago. Last year, the figure dropped to 12.3, representing a drop of 76%. On the number of industrial fatalities, in 1995, there were 77 cases. In 2024, there were 22 cases, representing a drop of 70%. You may have noticed that the construction industry sees a higher number of industrial accidents. Again, we have seen improvement in the construction industry over the past 30 years. In 1995, the number dropped from 232 over 1,000 to 24.8 over 1,000, which represents a drop of 90%. As for the number of industrial fatalities, the number dropped from 63 in 1995 to 14 in 2024. Now turning to the number of work fatalities. There are two parts to this. There are industrial fatalities as well as non-industrial fatalities. The number of non-industrial fatalities stand at about 30 cases. And in 2025, the number was 33. The number was actually lower, but then at the end of 2025, there was an accident at the airport and also the typo fire contributed to the increase in the number of cases. Among these accidents, fall of person from height is one of the most common types of work fatalities, particularly in the construction industry, as you may have noticed from news reports. With regards to our work plan for 2026, on inspection and enforcement, after the typo fire, there is common consensus that we need to enhance fire safety at construction site. The Labor Department is now working to amend CAP 59I, construction site safety regulations, to implement legal responsibilities or impose legal responsibilities to construction workers to prohibit them from smoking in construction sites to reduce the risks of fire incidents. We will table the relevant legislative amendments to LegCo as soon as possible. We are also working to revise a number of codes of practice and guidance notes to enhance OSH standards. We are currently working to amend the code of practice for safe use of tower cranes. We are also working to revise the EWP. On rules regarding using bamboo scaffolding and metal scaffolding, as well as the use of toe boards, we will also roll out some new guidance notes to enhance inspection and enforcement efficiency. Starting from October last year, we have been using drones to conduct patrols on construction sites. Through video recording as well as photo taking, we build models to help our colleagues complete inspection, investigations, and evidence collection. We will continue to make use of technology. For example, we will use digital means to collect evidence and witness statements, and also at confined spaces, we will make use of mobile robots to help collect evidence.
And we will also be working with the Occupational Safety and Health Council. In June, they will hold the second OSH Innovation and Technology Expo. At the same time, we will work with the OSHC to organize a new scheme. We aim to review our OSH ordinances and system. We want to provide training organizations with the opportunities to offer training in a more systematic manner. Regarding the heat stress at work warning, we will continue to look into refining the warning. Thank you. That concludes my introduction. Secretary, well, that concludes our introduction. We are happy to take questions from members. Thank you. For those who would like to ask questions, please press the button to request to speak. 8 members are lining up to speak. I haven't yet drawn a line. If you're interested in asking questions, please press the button. First member, Mr. Mark Chong, you have 3 minutes. Questions and answers included. Thank you. The administration often emphasizes OSH, but in the past 7 years, the number of accidents was over 20. In just January, there were 3 fatal industrial accidents, 2 of which happened on exactly the same day. A cylinder dropped from a tower crane, causing 1 death. In the Chinese mainland and in the UK, the worker at the tower crane is considered a professional, and they will need to undergo training before they can work in the construction site. As I understand, there is no such arrangement in Hong Kong. Are you going to draw reference from this arrangement? On exactly the same day, there was another fatal incident in a construction site. A worker was trapped and was killed by an elevating work platform. The administration has been encouraging private construction sites to carry out protective measures. In April 2023, they can apply for a subsidy of $1.5 million to install the system. Together with the INT fund, the total amount of subsidies is $6 million, totaling a total of $7.5 million. In September last year, the enhanced supplementary labor scheme was implemented, and the ratio has been updated. There's a decline of about 100 cases regarding imported labor, but the jobless rate in Hong Kong now stands at 3.8%. This ratio needs to be dynamically adjusted for a particular type of job. When the jobless rate is high, we need to adjust the ratio to 3:1 or even to 4:1. There should also be a circuit breaker system. When the jobless rate falls, you need to adjust it back to 2:1. Well, Mr. Mark Chung, please leave some time for the administration to reply. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Mark Chung, for his many questions. Let me take the question on OSH. We have a few main directions, say training, education, inspection, and last of all, when someone breaks the law, we take law enforcement action. we take a multi-pronged approach. Just now, Mr. Mark Chung referred to a tower crane as well as an elevating platform. We are going to update the guidelines on elevating platforms. We will add a lot of sensors in the hope of protecting the safety of construction workers. Regarding the enhanced supplementary labor scheme, we have been making adjustments and enhancements to the scheme, especially for industries with lack of local workers, say for cook, junior cook and waiters and waitresses. In the fourth quarter of last year, we adjusted the ratio. We keep a dynamic approach. If need be, we will extend this approach to other arrangements. And we can see results in the policies we are implementing. Well, let's focus on the policy briefing of the LWB today. We can follow up on other matters in other panel meetings. And I will draw a line soon after Mr. Elvin Lee speaks. Thank you. I'd like to talk about the TTPS Top Talent Pass scheme. TTPS was implemented for the benefit and long-term development of Hong Kong. From the figures, we can see that 120,000 applications have been approved, but the renewal ratio is only 50%. Why isn't that? Did they go to other countries to work after working in Hong Kong? How can we incentivize these applicants to apply for renewals? I'd like to ask about supporting measures of the TTPS as well. How can we encourage them to stay in Hong Kong? What does the Secretary think about resource allocation? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lee, for his invaluable views regarding the TTPS. As Mr. Lee just now said, from the 28th of December 2022, the TTPS has been implemented. It's about 3 years or so. The result has been quite good. This is especially true when it comes to attracting talents. The results have been encouraging. And we now focus on retaining talents, hence the renewal figures. At present, the renewal figures stand at about 50%, which is actually in line with what we expect. Upon the rollout of the TTPS, we choose talents, and that is the same for talents. They choose Hong Kong and they choose a place suitable for development. So 50% of the talents made an application for renewal. And let us draw reference from other countries around the world. This is actually quite good, but we'll continue to monitor the situation. Talents need to be able to find a job before they can apply for renewal, or they can choose to start up their own business. We'll continue to work on this. These talents want to learn Cantonese in order to settle into the Hong Kong society more easily. And for those who have children, education opportunities for their children matter. That's why, on different fronts, we work with our partners and we aim to provide suitable policies to attract these talents to stay in Hong Kong to make contributions. Thank you. Next, Mr. Lam Chen Seng, Deputy Chair. Thank you, Chairman. As the paper said, the review of the ESLS will be completed by the end of this year. The relaxation of the 26 job types came into effect in September 2023. Back then, the jobless rate for the F&B sector stood at 2.8%, whereas for now, the jobless rate for the F&B sector was 6.8%, the highest. The shortfall has dropped from 6,000 to around 3,000. So I'd like to know, in reviewing the scheme, apart from the manpower projections, will you consider these figures as well? Are you going to take into account these figures after your review? Can you not adopt a one-size-fits-all approach? Can you not tie all 26 job types together? For some particular job types, there could be a manpower ratio, or you can even not approve any imported labor for some specific job types. For some job types that still see a manpower crunch, you can continue to let imported workers come to Hong Kong. That is, are you going to implement any arrangements after your review of the relevant schemes? Thank you, Mr. Lam. Thank you for your views on the review of the ASLS. We made it clear in Q2 this year we expect to finish the interim review. Afterwards, we'll report to members of the panel our way forward. As Mr. Lam said just now, in the process we want to be precise and dynamic as well. We take into account a basket of factors, including the local labor market, as well as the needs of the local economy. These factors are equally important. We take into account a basket of factors. No one single factor is more important than the other. Comparing with 2 years ago, the employment market isn't as buoyant as it was 2 years ago. This is shown by the jobless rate. But undeniably, there is a mismatch, as we can see in the market. For example, for junior cooks and servers, the ratio needs to stay at 2:1, and employers need to hold physical job fairs in our recruitment centers. In other words, when locals come to the job fairs to apply for a job, as long as they are eligible, you must engage them. There are over 1,000 jobs available in the job fair, but then only 100 or so job seekers come. After interviews, usually they are engaged by the company. There are other factors at play, such as the location of work, salary, and so on. That's why we identify both local job demands or job seeker demands as well as a mismatch of resources. We want to prioritize local employment, but then we also need to prioritize opportunities that would benefit local economic development. Thank you, Mr. Jonathan Leung. On behalf of the catering industry, I'd like to thank the administration for the ESLS that was rolled out on the 4th of September 2023. We see relaxation, and the manpower crunch of the F&B sector was eased. That is conducive to improving quality of the F&B sector. The administration said that they would keep the dynamic adjustments. The industry welcomes this. But as for the median wage, it is on the high side in the opinion of the sector. They fail to take into account the seniority, experience, competence, and so on. The median wage usually only takes into account the basic wage and the subsidies, the medical insurance, MPF contributions, bonuses, and these have not been taken into account. Is it possible to review the median wage? In addition, we do want to prioritize local employment, but the cost of employing imported workers is actually very high. We need to pay training fees, and we also need to provide accommodation. Employing imported workers is our last resort. Will the administration provide training, render more support services in order to ease the manpower crunch, especially in the F&B sector? Thank you.
Secretary, I thank Mr. Jonathan Leung. The Labour Supplementary Scheme as well as the Enhanced Labour Supplementary Scheme scheme follows one overarching principle. That is, we have to ensure jobs are for the locals first. So if the conditions are met and we approve the importation applications, then the imported workers must not earn a wage of less than the median income in Hong Kong. I think this is one basic principle that we have to adhere to. In this review, well, at least within our bureau, we think that this is a very important consensus we have forged. If we change this principle, how can we ensure local employment first? Our view is that before the review is done, we should use the median income as the basic wage earned by imported workers. We understand that some employers think that they won't be able to make any money if they have to pay the median wage to imported workers. But after all, employers import labor because they fail to recruit local workers. So that's why I have to explain to you why we have to adhere to this basic principle. We will continue to offer basic local training. We will make use of the resources we have at the ERB to create more job opportunities for local workers. Thank you. Mr. Peter Xu. Thank you, Chair. According to the government report, the LWB has done a lot of work on different fronts. Many citizens commend the government's effort in terms of easing the manpower crunch, so I hope the government will continue to work hard. In terms of offering training, well, I definitely support this direction taken by the government. We have to look at what kind of talents we are short of in the market. So for the ERB, if it is to roll out training programs, it must adopt a targeted approach. It must make sure that it will offer training to workers that need the necessary skills. Well, things change very quickly, so you must ensure that your training program meets market needs. Now, turning to the aging population problem, 1 out of 4 people are aged about 65, and 10 years later, the proportion will increase to 1/3. Secretary, you previously allowed people from the GBA to help ease the manpower crunch. Over the past 2 years, many people complain about the service attitude of service workers in Hong Kong. Well, recently we have heard a lot less such complaints. I think that's partly because we have imported 50,000 workers and they all value the jobs they have. They work very hard and they set a good example to their colleagues, and that's why people are displaying better attitude. I think we can keep up with this effort. Now, according to Mr. Jonathan Learn, we have to ensure local employment first. Well, the Liberal Party definitely takes this direction, but does that mean it has to do with the median income? How can we ensure jobs are for the locals first? Well, there are many ways for us to achieve that. To give you an example, I hire an imported worker and the cost may be lower, but at the same time I have to hire 2 local workers. If the jobless rate is high, can the ratio be increased to 3:1 or 4:1? This is a way to ensure jobs are for the locals first. So I don't think we necessarily have to adjust the median income in order to make sure that jobs are for the locals first. In Singapore, the pay for imported workers is about 1/3 of the locals, and in the mainland it's about 2/3 of the locals. Well, will changing the median income help us boost our competitiveness? Well, I'm not sure. I don't really need an answer from the Secretary if there's no time left. Secretary, do you have anything to add? Oh, no, thanks. Mr. Chow Siu-chung, I want to talk about the work of the ERB. Just now, the Undersecretary mentioned about the work of the ERB, I have to declare that I work for one of the training organizations under the ERB. In the past, the ERB adopted an employment-based approach. Now it adopts a skills-based approach. I support this direction. But does that mean we should abandon the employment-based strategy? I want to hear from the government its considerations in this regard. In Hong Kong, employment is crucial. Like President Xi Jinping said, employment is a basic livelihood matter. I hope that as the government reform the ERB, it will not just focus on the skill-based training strategy, but retain the employment-based approach. The ERB has a history of some 30 years. Over the past, it has contributed a lot to our society, especially at times when we faced economic transformation and restructuring. It has helped a lot of jobless people to join emerging industries. To give you an example, we no longer have the manufacturing sector. We have done away with a lot of factories in Hong Kong. So the ERB helped cultivate workers who later became security guards, cleaning workers, as well as care workers. So the ERB is a very successful brand in Hong Kong, and it is successful exactly because it has helped a lot of workers in Hong Kong secure jobs. So my question is, has the government given any guidance to the ERB for trades that see a serious manpower shortage, such as the nursing trade as well as the F&B sector? Has the ERB thought of rolling out any training programs? Will the government consider rolling out hire first, training later programs? As far as I understand, the ERB has not allocated more resources to training up workers in Hong Kong. Instead, it has cut resources. I think we have to put in more resources to upskill and train local workers. I think what ERB is doing is against our goal. Secretary, I thank Mr. Chao Xiu-chung for the comment. Regarding the reform of the ERB, we will stress the skills-based training strategy. Like Mr. Chao said, over the past 30 years or so, the ERB has helped a lot of workers who worked in factories to join the service industry. Some of them became security guards, and the ERB has been very successful in this sense, and we will keep up with the effort. We won't give up. However, with the wide adoption of AI, it will not only be the factory workers who will be affected. A lot of white collars will be affected too because of the wide application of AI and the major change we see. How can we help them keep their jobs? They need skills. We have learned from neighboring countries, and around the world, many countries have been talking about upskilling their workers. So that's why we focus on the skills-based training strategy, and we plan to amend the ERB ordinance. We even plan to change the name of the board. This is because we want to focus on upskilling workers, but at the same time, we will use the employment-based approach. Skills is just a means for workers to secure a job. Mr. Ng Won-kit, I thank the Secretary and his team for the detailed briefing. I'm happy to see that the government is reforming the ERB. I believe that this will effectively help upskill the labor force in Hong Kong. As other members have just spoken, we have to ensure local employment first. And as mentioned by the Secretary, we see leaps and bounds in terms of the development of AI. So the needs of the market change very rapidly. Has the government thought about putting in resources to build an AI online training platform? This platform should be able to dynamically analyze data of the labor market in Hong Kong and analyze the needs of the market. Second, this platform should be able to come up with customized or personalized training pathway for workers or trainees. Thirdly, this platform should be able to empower workers or trainees to obtain the skills they need. If we have such a platform, we will be able to flexibly cope with the changes in the market, and we will be able to more speedily respond to the needs that concern our economic development. Thank you. Secretary, I thank Mr. Ng for the ideas. We will think about this. The government, including the ERB, will undoubtedly think of ways to more widely adopt AI. If AI will be able to improve our service mode or service delivery, we will definitely adopt those means. However, we'll have to think about the details. For example, we'll have to think of more cost-effective solutions. We will do this step by step. I thank Mr. Ng for the comment. He has pointed one direction that we are moving towards. As for the details, we'll have to look into them to make sure that we can implement the strategies. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, as a member representing the labor sector, I have 3 areas of concern. First, on the ERB, where, as mentioned, the board's name will be changed and to cope with the needs of the market. And second, I hope that more drones will be deployed to enhance OSH to reduce risks. Third, on fostering harmonious labor relations, I'm happy to see that there will be the Good Employer Charter 2026. I hope employers and employees will work together. I have 3 questions. First, on the ERB, as mentioned by the Secretary, the government hopes to cultivate local talents, and it has relaxed relevant restrictions, and it will enable those aged 15 or above to sign up for training services. Will the government work with the ITIB so that more workers know how to make use of technology? Apart from SMEs that can obtain these resources, we hope that each wage earner can get the resources too. For example, we have to look at how many resources each SME gets every year. We hope to get such statistics. Second, page 28 of the PowerPoint presentation states that different technologies are used to promote OSH and to provide training support. I want to know the outcomes achieved. Thirdly, the Secretary mentioned about the Global Talent Summit and that the government has been visiting countries overseas to draw for talents. We need enterprises to offer support. I hope you will bring enterprises onto these outreach visits too. Otherwise, it will just be a PR item. Secretary, I thank Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. The first question concerns the ERB. We keep coming up with ways to reform the ERB. Our targets are mainly the employees. We rarely focus on employers. Even if we offer support to employers, at the end of the day, it will be the employees that benefit. Of course, we will work with other policy bureaus, but mostly we focus on benefiting employees. I will see if Mr. Feng will talk about making use of AI or technologies to ensure OSH. Secondly, please rest assured that we work with enterprises to go global to draw for talents.
Mr. Vincent Feng, thank you. We started to use drones in Q4 last year. We made a total of 38 drone operations. we managed to identify more non-compliances. There were over 500 non-compliances, and we could follow up on these breaches. We can see that the use of technologies has indeed helped us, and we will also continue to work with the OSHC. We want to enhance construction site safety with the use of technologies. Thank you. Mr. Ken Wong. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Secretary and his team for a very detailed introduction. I have some questions. There are views that in relation to attracting talents, we need clear positioning so that we can attract the right talents to support the positioning of the A centers. I'd like to ask in this regard, does the administration have any priorities when it comes to importing talents? Are there any KPIs? Can you tell us any indicators? Do you keep a tally of the number of talents staying in Hong Kong as well as their job distribution? Can you announce the relevant updates? Can the administration make sure the importation of talents directly echoes the demands of the A centers of Hong Kong? Do you regularly review the effectiveness of job matching services and local training? Thank you, Secretary. Mr. Ken Wong has made some good points. The importation of talents supplements our local labor force. We still prioritize the cultivation of local talent. We have two main types of admission schemes. One, employment-based schemes. That is, talents already have a job, and then employers make an application to import this type of workers into Hong Kong. In other words, they need to have a job first. There are 60-odd job types under the talent list, and they are inextricably linked to the positioning of A centers. Whereas the other type of talent admission schemes are talent-based. The TTPS is the most representative scheme. The most number of applicants under the TTPS work in the commercial and trading sector, followed by INT. 1/6 of the applicants work in the INT sector. INT doesn't account for a large share of our GDP. But then a lot of TTPS applicants actually engage in the INT sector. We have the relevant figures, and we will report to the Council. Mr. Ken Wong made some good points about local talent training. We attach a lot of importance to this regard. The Education Bureau has done a lot of work, and I'm sure, Chairman Mr. Tang, you are well aware of that. Mr. Ken Wong is also involved in the cultivation of local talent. For the 3-year funding of the UGC, a lot of it has to do with the A centers in Hong Kong, and we need to align this work with the positioning of A centers. Thank you. Thank you, Secretary, and thank you, officials. Any other business? There being no other business, meeting adjourned. Thank you.